Hi, I'm Steve Bowes as part of our GMO leadership discussion series. Today we are talking with Stewart McDonald from Vertical Events. Stewart, you've built Vertical Events into one of Australia's leading conference organisations. How did you start?
Well, Steve, I started back in the late 90s when I was working for a publishing company that was focused on resources in hard print. And as part of their business, they did a couple of small mining conferences.
Right.
The owner of that business, for whatever reason, decided that he didn't want to be doing conferences. He wanted to put his focus into the magazine business. And so I decided to take over that conference business and then grow the business from there.
Okay, yeah. Did you envisage all those years ago that you would become such a national player?
Well, not really. I mean, our first major event was in Melbourne, so I guess you do start on an Eastern States stage, and you always want to be big and famous, but I guess you don't really, at the start, think that that can be the case, but after 60 years of practice and market share.
Over the years, you've certainly organised many mining conferences and so on, but I believe now that you're diversifying into another field. Would you like to tell us a little more about that?
Well, yes, Steve. What we've done in the past 18 months, we've developed a new concept called the Techno Roadshow.
Right.
And what we did was, because of the resource downturn, and not forgetting my business is putting managing directors and CEOs of their companies on stage, and they talk about their own company.
Yes.
They talk about their business, their projects, their share price, and try and attract investors. Well, as you know, in 2014 and 15, investors were hard to find. Money was hard to find, and therefore the companies were all struggling a bit. So therefore we struggled a bit.
Okay.
So we had to find a way to stay in business and make some money. So what we decided to do was analyse the business and come up with the idea that our business is putting MDs on stage.
Right.
So we just changed topic. We went to the tech business, up and coming tech startups on the ASX and listed, and went to that market and started what's now known as the Techno Roadshow. Right,
that's very, very interesting. How did your conference go last week in Melbourne?
Yeah, well, last week the Techno Roadshow, we did Melbourne last Tuesday, Sydney last Thursday, and Brisbane last Friday. We had 18 companies, and it's the same 18 companies each day. So it's a real roadshow.
Okay.
So there's three different audiences. You got the money men of Melbourne in one audience, and you got the money men of Sydney in the next audience, and Brisbane's more your retail older audience.
Right, okay. And I believe you've, on November the 15th at the Hyatt here in Perth, you've got a technology minerals conference as well. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
In the past, we've always run an event called the Australian Uranium Conference. Now, of course, in the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, uranium hasn't fared as well as it did. And there's no longer a demand in the conference circuit for a dedicated uranium event. So what we've done is expanded, again, rejigged that conference to look at low emissions, because what uranium is a low emission metal.
Right.
And we've looked at other low emission metals like lithium and cobalt and graphite, and so rejigged that, still with uranium, but with the other metals involved as well, to give it a bit of a different flavour and a bit of a rejig to try and attract some market back into that field.
Right. And I believe you've got another conference on the 24th as well.
Yeah, that's a little one we're doing. It's called Crisis and Emergency Management. That's not one of our conferences. That's run by IFAP. But our job is to help them out and make their day a success. But it's a topic that's very interesting. It's not one of our normal things that we do, but
I see.
It's helping out a mate, and that's what you do.
Yeah, that's certainly what you do.
But the key is to try and stay in business, and you got to stay ahead of the pack, and you got to keep thinking about ways that you can regenerate your market. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, that's why I believe you're a market leader in your field. And how many staff do you have with your business?
Well, it depends on how you want to analyse it. We have 6 full-time staff,
right,
and then we have a team of 4 contractors.
Okay.
So every show that we do, we have your sound guys, your MC, the whole kit. So, 6 full-time staff and 4 contractors.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. I mean, what an amazing business you have there, and it was just delightful to hear a little about it. It's something that most people, I think, probably don't have much of an insight into. They go to your conferences, but they certainly don't see the man behind the business and how it goes, and perhaps a little bit of history with it. So yes, amazing. And GMO, here at GMO, we congratulate you, mate, and on your, outstanding success, I guess. And again, thanks for coming today.
Sure. Thanks, Steve. Cheers.